What's up, y'all? I want to tell y'all a story that only a certain few people know and only a certain few people have experienced. And after I'm done with this story, people are probably not going to believe it. I have witnesses. It is what it is. It is what it is. I'll put my hands on, I'll put, I'll take a lie detector to test, whatever. Lie detector test, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And this is going to be offensive to some people who don't want you to know. And hopefully it'll be appealing to people who do know that there's so much more to life. As we're approaching into the new generations and all of that, man, we're starting to become more conscious of certain things. So I think it's that time for me to say this publicly. I tried it before, got too emotional, was crying. I'm just going to tell you the story this time. So, I had this dream. I was in New York. I had this dream that went from, it was skipped 3 different sceneries. The first one, I was in front of a fence. I was sitting on a fence with a bunch of people I didn't know. It was, white, black people just chilling with me. I didn't know them at the time. And it felt weird. It felt like I knew I was dreaming. It skipped. And I was in this circle monkey bars with this white young dude who walks up to me. He says something. I didn't know what he said at the time. So, let me not get emotional, but gosh, this is my experience. It is what it is. But so it skipped from that circle monkey bars park or whatever scene to I'm sitting with one of my very close family members talking, and there's this white lady on a rocking chair. And I woke up, told my brother about it. We was like, oh, that was crazy, whatever, boom. 3 months later, I moved to Virginia Beach. And I started a record label, pt1 Music Works. Our motto was heal your soul because the music works. So I put up these flyers all over Virginia Beach area. I was close to where, not Pharrell, but Teddy Riley's studio was at. I was close to that area on Virginia Beach Boulevard, I believe, or whatever. And I get my first call. Cause I had pictures of me and Busta Rhymes and my boy Try and my brothers Try and Honey P, and I had all these flyers up with all these famous people that we was with and stuff like that from when we was doing music when we was a little younger, maybe 2-3 years before that, something like that. Well, anyway, make a long story short, boom. So get my first call. The dude's name is Joe Lynch. Joe Lynch is like, yo, I rap. You know what I'm saying? See, you got a label, this and that, da-da-da. I told him, yeah, you know what I mean? I was like, look, I ain't up there where I want to be yet, but I'm trying to get there. These are my experiences. Those pictures you saw was based on this, da-da-da-da. He was like, word. He was like, look, I'm trying to get with you. When can we meet up? I was like, well, when are you free? He was like, I'm free right now. I was like, all right, well, where you at? I was like, or I could tell you where my office is at. You could come to the office. He's like, all right, cool. What's the office address? So I tell him the office address. He's like, man. He's like, I'm right across the street from you. I said, for real? He was like, yeah. He was like, I can literally walk outside my door and you'll see me. I was like, yo, all right, I'm going to walk out. So I walk out. Literally, he was right across the street, but it wasn't even a full street. It was like one of them little one-way in the cut streets. And so I get up with him, meet him, my boy Deuce, Spade, Q, Deuce's brother, a couple of other friends, not AZ, I ain't meet AZ yet, but just a couple of people, since we chilling, we're young, drinking, smoking, whatever, it is what it is. So I link up with them, we start chilling. That's my team, pt1 Music Works. Some bad things happen personally, lose the office, and have nowhere to go. I can't count on anybody out there at the time because I tried and it wasn't happening. So I asked them, hey, can I come and stay with my boy Q? Q was like, yeah, you can come and stay with me at Derby Run. It's like, all right, cool. So I go stay with him at Derby Run. And I start working at 7-Eleven. So while I'm there working at 7-Eleven, nothing ever funny really hit me, whatever. So one day, we're chilling, and my boy Q was like, yo, I'm not going to say the name, but so-and-so got some shrooms. You ever did some shrooms? I was like, no, I've never done shrooms, but I've always wanted to do them. So he was like, yeah, we're going to get some shrooms. I was like, all right, word. So we went, got the shrooms. Boom. We do our thing. Pop the shrooms, whatever. Then my boy calls me, and he was like, yo, he was like, Getty, he was like, Catch, are you working today? I was like, yeah. He was like, he was like, yo, you feeling the shrooms? I was like, nah. He was like, no, did you do the shrooms? I was like, yeah. But he was like, are you feeling it? I was like, nah, I don't feel nothing. He was like, do you got to work today? I was like, yeah, I do. He was like, oh, man, I was going to tell you don't take the shrooms because if you got to work today, you either going to quit or get fired. So I was like, nah, I'm good, whatever. I'm not feeling nothing. So we, in the back of the trailer, the mobile home that we was living in, we had this little cut room in the back, in the cut, which we call it was like our karaoke room. And when we go in there, we write our rhymes, we rap, freestyle, we do our thing, whatever. It was chill. So while I'm there, I'm like just looking around. And I'm like, yo, I don't feel nothing. Boy AZ goes, yo, bro, wave your hands in the air. I said like this, and I seen the trails. It was like Bruce Lee doing one of his, for those who's never done shrooms, that's the trails. Like, it was the trails. So I'm like, yo, oh wow, like, yo, this is awesome. Reality shifted. It is what it is. So he was like, it's a trip, bro. I'm telling you, bro. Just, you know what I'm saying? He was like, I was like, oh, Deja. I didn't want to curse because I'm in my mom's house, but I was like, oh, Deja. Oh, I said that before. So it was like I had two deja vus in the same exact instance. So I say, so my boy says, yo, you know, chill, you're tripping. It's just the shrooms. I was like, nah. I was like, if I'm tripping, then I was like, then Deuce ain't gonna walk in and ask us to go to the store. And as soon as I said that, my boy Matt Barnes, I hope you don't mind me putting your name out there, fam, comes in and he goes, yo, y'all trying to go to the store get some 40s? Everybody's like, oh, I'm like, yo, we all happy, yeah, whatever, right? So these girls look at me and they was like, I was like, dude, we never heard nobody explain tripping like that or whatever. No, actually, no, I'm wrong. They didn't say that to me yet. So we was all in the room or whatever. So we decide we're going to go to the store. So we start going to the store. As we're walking to the store, it's dark out. This is my word to God, and I'm not lying. And I need to put this out just in case. But so I'm walking to the store. We walk into the store. All of a sudden, I see this lady walking towards me. It's dark out. I don't know if they was pushing a stroller or they had a kid with them or what. I can't remember exactly. It was that part is kind of like, you know, faded. But as I'm walking to them, I hear them saying, look at that hooligan. And I turn around and look at them because I walked past them, right? So I turned around and look at them and I was like, nah, I ain't no hooligan. And then all of a sudden, like, I realized, yo, I dreamt this before. So I jumped. I always used to say 9 feet in the air to everybody I have told the special people I have told the story to. I jumped so high in the air, yelling out, I broke the code of the Matrix. And I jumped, land on my back, got up, and I see my peoples laughing. And I remember a dream where I thought people were laughing at me for no specific reason because it was a dream. But when I seen my peoples doing that, I realized they wasn't laughing at me in the dream. They were laughing with me because we were in the same plane or whatever. And not everybody there was doing the same thing that I was doing. So, anyway, so I get up, get up like unscathed, nothing wrong with me, whatever. I'm happy. Like, oh shoot, like this is like a dream, whatever. So I start walking. As I'm walking, these girls at their house was like, yo, he's tripping or something. And I was like, and I heard them. And I'm telling you, they were so far away, there's no way possible that I could have heard them, but I heard them. And I said, nah, I ain't tripping, shorty, I ain't tripping. And they looked at me like, how did he know that we talking about him, they down there, whatever. So we keep walking. We're going to the 7-Eleven where I worked at for like about 3 months or something. Anyway, get to the store where I always work at, and it never hit me until that particular night. We had a white fence. My boy was like, yo, who's going in the store? I was like, I'm chilling out here. My boy was like, yeah, I'm chilling out here too. So I sat down, and no, actually no. I said I'm gonna go in with my boy or whatever. So I walk in the store. I look at my boss, my manager, and I don't know. I just looked at her like, I was just like, you already know. And she was like, okay, going with the flow. But at the same time, I don't know if she knew what I was really thinking or not, but I know I felt it in the vibratory sense. So I looked at her and I was like, I'm not coming back. And she was like, I know. She was like, I know. But I don't know if she even knew why she was saying that, but whatever. So I walked back out. My boy's getting the beers. I walk outside. I'm sitting outside on our freaking white fence. As I'm sitting there, my boy AZ walks up to me. I'm sitting there looking at this white van approaching us. As the white van is approaching us, I look at my boy AZ and I say, yo, I feel like if I jumped in front of this van right now, I'll be sitting here telling you I feel like jumping in front of this van right now. He was like, I know, man. He was like, it's the rut. I said, what? He was like, it's the circle, man. Get out the rut. Get out the rut. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'm not understanding, but I'm understanding where he's coming from. So, because I was feeling where he was coming from. So anyway, we start walking back to the park that I've been at for 3 freaking months. Never noticed the circle monkey bars from my dream once again. So I'm in there. I'm up in the circle monkey bars or whatever, sitting on the outside. My homegirl Sarah and my boy Zach. Was it Zach? I believe it was Zach. It's been so long that I've been around these peeps, and y'all already know. If I ain't forget y'all, even if I can't remember your names, I smoked a lot of weed in my time. So whatever. But so I sit down in front of the monkey bars and I'm chilling and I'm listening to people talking to me. I got my head down like this, and as I'm sitting there like this, I see myself in my head with my head down like this, seeing myself with my head down like this, seeing myself. The mirror effect. Put a mirror to a mirror. That's what I was seeing in my head over and over and over and over. So I was like, oh my God. I was like, yo. Like, I was tripping inside, kind of. I was tripping literally, but whatever. So I'm like, yo. I was like, yo, this is crazy. I was like, this is crazy. I'm seeing myself forever. And my boy and my homegirl, they both go, we know too, Catch, we know, but we don't know why. And I'm like, what is going on? So then I turn around and go inside the circle monkey bars, and my boy Q walks up to me. Now let me tell you a little backstory real quick. When I first met Q, we went to his mom's place of work or whatever. When we went there, he said, I used to be in there before. I was like, what you mean? Because she worked for a psychiatric type hospital. So I said, what you mean? She was like, I used to be in there, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was crazy or whatever, right? It's like, oh. He was like, you know what the difference between a crazy person and a sane person is? I said, what, Q? He said that a crazy person sees reality. A crazy person sees raw reality, sees reality for what it is. So they're actually the sane one. And a sane person sees reality for what they want. So they're actually crazy. So, long story short, back to the park. My boy Q walks up to me. And I look at I look at my boy AZ. My boy AZ walks to the monkey bars and he goes, "Yo, Catch." I said, "What?" No, he didn't even say nothing. I said, "AZ." He looked at me. And I said, "Yo, if I'm this," like I said, my mom's here, so I'm not gonna curse. I was like, if I'm this effed up, and we both said together, then imagine how God feels. When he said that, and when I said that, my mind was like wrapped around this experience, of euphoric experience that I finally found a connection with God. So my boy Q walks up to me and he goes, "You Catch, are you glad for what I gave you?" That was the words that I couldn't understand in the dream. "Are you glad for what I gave you?" I said, "What?" He said, "Raw reality, dude." I flip out like, "Yo, this is awesome." I'm like, "Yo." But then I go and sit. No, then I start walking off. Because I'm like, oh, I'm flipping out. Some people would say I was about to go into a bad trip. But nah, this was a spiritual experience, a spiritual awakening. It just so happened that I used influences that I could have did without the influence. Now I know that. That's why I'm meditating now. But anyway, so I walk out. I start walking, and as I'm walking, these girls are walking to me, and they're like, "Dude, we never heard anybody explain tripping like you do." And I'm like, thank you. But in my mind, I'm like, I heard you say that so many times. I just want to just spaz out or whatever on them. Because it was like insanity. It was like, yo, what the fuck? I've been seeing this already. So then I start walking back to the house where I lived for 3 months. It just so happened that a personal close relative of mine, he was there with me because it was his birthday and I brought him down here to VA. So, VA, you got some special power. I'm just letting you know. Yeah, real talk. But anyway, I sat down and I'm telling my friend, "Listen, this is what just happened to me, da 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 da." And I'm like, "But you knew, didn't you?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I could tell he's answering, but it's not. He's like unconscious of the answering, whatever. So I'm like, wow, man. I was like, yo, like my reality shifted pretty much. I was in a different state of mind completely, right? So I look to my homeboy's mom, Drienne, who was on her rocking chair watching a movie. And I looked, and when I looked, I remembered the dream. And then this all hit me. All those dreams, that whole day or that whole experience was different dreams that I've had over various different times. Yes, and I know it sounds crazy, but like I said, I'll put myself on a polygraph to prove it. That this is not no made up shit. This is not no hallucination. This is an unveiling of a human person's mind into a godly sense. Straight up. I don't care what nobody says. So anyway, I look at her, she's on a rocking chair, and then I look at the TV, and Hannibal, the movie Hannibal was playing. And it was at the very end of the movie Hannibal, and all of a sudden, the screen starts going black at the end of Hannibal, where all of a sudden it just shows Hannibal's eye. As soon as I see the eye, I hear in my head, "Close your eyes." So, I closed my eyes. The moment I closed my eyes, I started drifting off. As I'm drifting off, I start hearing birds chirping. I hear cars passing by. I hear people talking. And I realize, oh, I'm about to die. I am about to go away. Like I'm leaving. I'm leaving this place. And when I realized that, I got so scared that I had to shift back and was like, yo, what the heck, or whatever. And